I'm Chuck Schembre with the Nevada Environmental Protection. Now we're going to be conducting a rainfall simulator soil demonstration test. So in this demonstration, we can look at runoff, we can look at soil erosion and water infiltration rates from two different managed soils. So in this soil demonstration, we have two soils from a farm in Fallon. The fields are separated by not much of a distance, probably a quarter mile or less. And in the soil here on my right, we have a no-till corn system which integrates winter cover crops in the winter, triticales and rye and other legumes. And the residues are left in place. I'm going to lift this up just so we can get a better look. The residues are left in place during the winter, and it is a no-tillage system. And then the soil here on my left, this is an alfalfa field that is a pretty typical alfalfa field. The farmer's starting to implement some different techniques and soil health practices. And so it's probably relatively a healthy soil. We're not saying one is more healthier than the other. We're just going to look at today the differences of having this residue and a no-tillage system with corn versus this alfalfa, which is technically a no-tillage system. Probably is rotated every 4 to 5 years, so there is some mechanical cultivation happening. And we have much less ground cover and residues through the winter on this soil here. So we're going to pour water over the top to simulate rain. This is the rainfall simulator, and we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to invite my trusty volunteer back up here, Martina, to help me mimic Mother Nature. We're just going to pour the water over the top here. This is perforated. They got the same perforations, and so water is going to run off and collect in here, and then we also should have some level of infiltration through the soil profile, and we'll look at how much water makes it into, call it the subsoil or groundwater. Okay, Martina, you ready? All right, here we go. Again, we let these soil demonstrations speak for themselves. Thank you, Martina. Well, we haven't done this yet, and I wasn't sure what to expect. Okay, so let's talk about what we see now. From the no-tillage corn system, it's been under no-tillage for 5-6 years or so. If we just look at the water clarity here and how much water ran off, obviously we have more clear water from here, and from this alfalfa that had less residues through the winter, we had more soil exposure, so the runoff brought with it more sediment, more soil and other organic material off the site, which would run off into our streams and other water bodies, lakes, etc. So we let it, it's pretty evident. And we also see, if the camera is picking this up, hopefully it is, less water quantity in here and more in here, so more water runoff, probably more velocity and flows coming off the land. Now the next thing we're going to look at is how much water collected into these basins underneath, and so this is representing infiltration into the subsoil, maybe into the groundwater. So we had more infiltration in this here, in the no-tillage corn, and doesn't look like we got much water that infiltrated through this soil. We'll take a closer look at this. Okay, so we've seen how much water ran off these two soils. We saw how much infiltrated is collecting in the basin. We're going to take a little closer look at that, but the next step of this demonstration is we're going to flip these over and we're going to look at how much moisture do we have at the bottom, or the lower in the soil profile. How much water infiltrated through? We can see that in these little catchments, but we'll take a closer look at this by flipping. Whoop, that one wants to come out right away. shake this table. All right, so let's take a look here. Probably no surprise. I think we can tell a lot more moisture in the subsoil, if you want to call that the subsoil. We'll pretend this is a 3-4 foot pit, right? Look at it on the sides. Much more moisture in the subsoil here, especially that view right there, ladies and gentlemen. You can see essentially where the soil stopped infiltrating, and more of it ran off, of course. I'm going to lift these up here so we can get a good visual of how much water infiltrated through these soil profiles and collected into our catch basins. Much more water here, much less water here, no surprise, right? We poured the same volume of water in on the top. We had more runoff from the alfalfa soil and less runoff from the corn. No-till corn system. So this is a great demonstration for looking at soil erosion, runoff off of the site, and water infiltration. Again, I'm Chuck Schembre with the Nevada Environmental Protection. I really hope you enjoyed these soil demonstrations today. If you're looking for any technical assistance or advice for your education program, feel free to contact me at my contact information right here. And I'd love to work with you in your programs and get you guys set up to educate the public or farmers in your community.